Alright, 400 yards. I wonder if this is going to be 400 yards.
To solve yarn catastrophes like this, I designed the electric eel wheel yarn counter. Other yarn counters are either adaptations of fishing line meters that don't work well with yarn, or are designed using old limiting technologies. I designed this yarn counter from the ground up to be the most accurate, versatile, and fairly priced yarn counter ever made for yarn lovers. This first screen measures your yarn as it is pulled around the disc. This screen lets you easily pick between yards and meters. This menu lets you enter a length of yarn and then beeps at that length, which lets you take a large cone of yarn and break it up into several smaller bobbins for weaving. There is also this little plug on the side which can work with future electric cone winders or ball winders to automatically stop them when you reach your desired length. By the way, if you don't like the beep when pressing the buttons, it can easily be turned off. Now let's show it in action. This is some Worcester weight yarn that we're moving from an electric eel wheel 6 bobbin directly to a ball winder. This is cobweb yarn on the electric eel wheel nano going to a knitting naughty, showing that very fine yarns count great. Here's some bulky yarn on a swift going to a ball winder, showing that thick yarn works well. Here is yarn on a skein winder going to a ball winder. You can even use it while knitting to keep track of how much yarn you've used. I could show more examples, but the point is this yarn counter can handle fine to bulky yarn, and you can use it at any stage in your fiber workflow, so you don't need to have an extra pass just to measure your yarn. This counter has been in development for nearly 2 years, going through many prototypes. One area the community has really helped me improve is the clamping mechanism. This clamp holds firmly to most tables and took several prototypes to perfect. But then some testers found they wanted to use the clamp in this orientation because it was better for their workflow. So I added a way to mount the clamp that way. But then the screen was upside down, so I added this switch to flip the screen. It took several iterations to arrive at this simple but elegant solution. Magnets hold it together, so it is super easy to open to access these keyhole screw mounts or to change the batteries. Not that you'll have to change the batteries often. For typical use, I'm estimating this pair of AA batteries will last well over a year. The yarn guides are curly loops instead of connected circles, so that you can put on the yarn like this instead of having to thread it through a hole. There are even these rubber feet on the bottom that help prevent it from slipping. Let's talk a little about accuracy, because it is incredibly important. With the latest prototypes, we're seeing very low errors ranging from 0 to 3% in our real-world tests. This small error seems to mostly be from variations in how much the yarn is stretching while measuring it. To get the error this low, I added a feature in the menus where you can enter in the wraps per inch of your yarn. While using this is easy, how it works is a little complex. If you're interested in the details, check out the Kickstarter page where I have much more information about this and other innovative features of this yarn counter.
Papa, let me count your yarn!